I'm Pam Dyson. I'm the founder and the director of the DFW Center for Play Therapy Training. We offer affordable continuing education opportunities for play therapy credentialing. You can learn more about us at dfwplaytherapy.com. I'm in the kitchenette of my office today and I'm getting ready to make some Play-Doh. The Play-Doh in my play therapy room and in my portable kit needs to be replaced, and I thought maybe you all would enjoy seeing how I make Play-Doh and then having the recipe. I used to buy store-bought Play-Doh. It's crumbly, I think, and it's also can be rather expensive. So I can make my own, it's affordable, and kids really, really like it. So we'll be showing the recipe for this at the end of the video, so don't grab your pen and paper thinking you gotta write it down. We'll share it with you later. Take some basic, inexpensive items that you can purchase at the grocery store. So one simple batch, I usually double it, but I'm gonna make a single batch today. So it's a cup of flour and a half a cup of salt and 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. It keeps the Play-Doh really, really soft. So we can kind of guess on that. There's 1 and there's 2. So I like to stir those dry ingredients together like this. And then we're going to add some liquid ingredients. It's a cup of water, 1 cup, 8 ounces of water, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And we mix that together. You can leave it this color, but it's kind of bland looking. I use inexpensive food coloring to color my Play-Doh. So today I decided I'm going to make some green Play-Doh. So you just squeeze in a bunch of it. The more you squeeze in there, the more vivid that the color will be. You could probably use food coloring gel as well. I think the colors with a gel are more intense. Food coloring gels are also usually maybe a little more expensive, so I kind of stick to the traditional food colors. Anyway, you do need to cook this, so I have a little hot plate that I keep at my office, so you're going to want to use a medium heat, and you need to stir this consistently while it's cooking so that it won't burn. And what happens as you're stirring it is that the dough will start to pull away from the sides of the pan and form a ball. And then you'll know when it's finished. So it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but this is still pretty doughy here. If you don't stir it, it could easily burn. So you need to make sure that you keep an eye on it. And you see how the color's a little bit marbleized? I'm trying to mix that in. If you don't like it marbleized, sometimes once we dump this out, we're going to dump it on a cutting board when it's done cooking, and then we're going to knead it when it cools, and then a lot of times we can get the colors blended in a little bit better. So still cooking it up here. Probably, you might be able to see some of the steam coming off of it. It's not quite finished yet. You see how it's starting to look more like a smooth dough here, but yet on this side it's not cooked all the way through yet. So we're going to want to make sure that all of it's cooked, because uncooked Play-Doh then will just get kind of goopy and it won't have the consistency that you want. All right, we're getting closer. Yeah, I remember as a little girl, my grandma would let me pull up a chair to the kitchen counter and she'd give me a little bowl. Her spoon was wooden, not plastic, and some water and some flour, and she just let me mix up all kinds of doughy concoctions, and giving me a rolling pin and let me roll it out. I had more fun with that. Maybe that's why I like making this. It's kind of a throwback to my childhood days in my grandma's kitchen. Anyway, I think this one is just about done. Yep, we're going to dump it out. So like I said, when it kind of forms a ball and pulls away from the sides of the pan, you know that it's done. And then have a cutting board, something that you can dump it onto, like that. It is really hot at first, so you sometimes need to let it cool a little bit. And then as it does, you can knead it. This is really hot, but I want you to see what it looks like. If you've ever baked homemade bread or other kinds of baked goods, you'll know all about kneading. If you're like me and don't bake very often, this is about the only time I actually need something is when I'm making Play-Doh. And this makes a pretty good sized batch. Remember, this was just a cup of flour, cup of water, half a cup of salt, tablespoon oil, 2 teaspoons cream of tartar, and some food coloring. So it does make a pretty generous pile of Play-Doh. And once it cools, then you need to store it in something airtight. I like to use zipper food storage bags, the freezer type, because they're a little thicker plastic and they're much more durable. Or you could put it into like an actual plastic container that has a really tight sealing lid, because once this gets air to it, then it's going to dry out and it's not going to last you very long, and it won't stay nice like this. Then it will get crumbly like your store-bought Play-Doh. So anyway, I'll make sure that you get the recipe for this. We'll run it here at the end of the video. So I wish you were here to feel it, because it feels really neat. And it's nice and warm, and there's nothing quite like new fresh Play-Doh. And I know the children that I see in my offices next week are really going to enjoy it. If you want to connect with me, I would be happy to connect with you. And you can do that through my website, dfwplaytherapy.com. And there's buttons there to connect over to all the social media platforms where you can find me: Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And that address again is dfwplaytherapy.com.